Hello, welcome to the Leverton on Everything podcast. My name is Leverton, and this is Everything, a daily podcast where I review literally everything in under 10 minutes. And sometimes, like now, I do a video episode to go along with the audio episode. So today I'm going to be reviewing Reign of the Supermen, which is a uh, DCAU movie, a DC animated universe movie. And while the DCU, the DC universe, obviously has not been as successful as the MCU, the there's this idea that the DCAU is much better, and I wanted to check that out. I'm a big fan of Superman, and of course, with the new Superman movie being released recently, I wanted to uh, I wanted to see as many Superman movies as I could. And so far, I've only watched Superman versus the Elite and Reign of the Supermen. So it does require a bit of backstory. Uh, if you don't know anything about Superman, Superman died once, both in comics and in cinema, and he dies at least three times as far as I'm aware of, but he always is killed by the same thing, which is basically a creature called Doomsday, and different stories treat that differently, but it's basically like this huge, powerful monster that is more powerful than Superman, and it kills him. Um, so I haven't read the comics yet, so I don't know like how exactly that happens in the comics. In the CW series, I'm not sure if it's CW, but anyway, the series Superman and Lois, uh, which is this is really weird, but Doomsday is actually Bizarro Superman. So there's like a Bizarro world, and Bizarro Superman is addicted to Krypton, and that gives him like this wacky little look. And basically, he comes to Earth, and I think, not Lex Luthor, I think maybe Lex Luthor. Yeah, Lex Luthor uh, kidnaps him and kills him, and every time he kills him, he gets reborn. I don't know how that happens, but he gets reborn and he becomes more and more monstrous, more and more powerful until eventually he is able to kill Superman. And Superman is revived with a human heart, which causes him to be mortal and die eventually. But I've spent a long time talking about not this movie because in this movie, basically, he is killed, Superman, and then people think he's dead. So this creates sort of a gap in the very powerful being to protect the Earth ecological role, let's say. And three Supermen arise to fill that gap. There's Cyborg, Superman, Superboy, and also, I don't know what he's called, but he looks exactly like Superman. And there's maybe three really good parts about the movie. The animation is really good, I would say, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. Um, so, Cyborg Superman is really, really creepy, and there's reasons in the story for that, which make a lot of sense. But the two things that I wanted to mention, which I thought were great storytelling, were um, Superboy is a clone of Lex Luthor and Superman. So basically, uh, Lex tried to clone Superman using Superman's DNA, but it was unstable and he created a bunch of monsters. And so to stabilize it, he used his own DNA. And there's a great scene where Superboy finds out this, and he is he's appropriately shocked by this because up to that point he's been sort of like this arrogant figure, like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm the new Superman, but he never really questions where he came from, and so that starts to make him question. Another thing which is kind of good in this movie is so uh, I'm not sure if in this part of the story, I don't remember if Lois and Clark are together. Um, but basically, when he dies, Lois turns to Diana, aka Wonder Woman, and they have like a girls' night out as sort of support, and as something that they don't do either one of them. So it's kind of an interesting way of saying, okay, these characters, like without putting them, like sobbing uncontrollably or whatever, it shows sort of the trauma that these two women have gone through. Yeah, I would recommend it, definitely. Superman, Reign of the Supermen, and probably there's a good comic also connected to it. Oh, yeah, another great thing is so there's four Supermen in this movie, and the last one is actually the Superman, and he's got this glorious mullet, and he's got like a black suit. So, of course, Superman's suit is pretty classic, uh, red and blue and yellow, but I think that the black suit is pretty cool for what it is. Um, Also, it does one other thing. It kind of, so to spoil the plot a little bit, one of the other Superman is this sort of holographic projection who looks exactly like Superman. And that's been designed to protect kryptonites. And it straight up murders people, right? Like in the beginning, it murders people because, and that's also really dark because in most iterations of the Superman origin story, Krypton is this sort of noble place. I haven't watched the origin series yet, but it's sort of this noble place full of noble people. And to make it like human lives are so insignificant that this hologram will murder people to protect Superman is kind of creepy. So everything about this movie is creepy. Actually, that would be my one word definition. So, Superboy's creepy, Cyborg, Superman is creepy, and then the holographic Kryptonite protector. I don't know if you call somebody from Krypton Kryptonite, but that wouldn't make any sense. But it would, on the other hand. The Kryptonian protector. Yeah. Okay, my camera's doing some weird autofocus thing. All right, so yeah, creepy, but very worth the watch. I give it 9 out of 10. Another thing that I would give 9 out of 10 is I have another podcast called Death by Disney. Please check that out. Thank you. Bye bye.